Hello and welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror films. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I am your little VHS co-hostess, Drusilla Adeline, coming in very blurry, very staticky this morning. Hello, Josh. How are you?
I'm good. I'm in soft focus, like the girls in Picnic at Hanging Rock. I think there's like smudge over my lens or something, but it looks nice.
You look incredible, honestly. It takes 10 years off.
Thank you. I've also just done my like insane morning skincare routine that has like 100 lotions and potions. So
the combination of these two things makes you look like a teenager. So congratulations, you're cast on the new season of Riverdale.
When you get to be my age, you need a little help. Yeah, I could be like someone's dad on Riverdale, which is fine. That's just my phase of life. What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing very well. I don't know. Life's good.
Yeah.
I just helped some friends move from Koreatown to kind of Glendale, Burbank, and I am so happy. I am a big indoctrinator of move to the valley, move to the valley, move to the valley.
Yeah, I love the
Not
valley.
even that Glendale and Burbank are really the valley, but
Sure.
like, it's not fucking Van Nuys, like.
No, do you know? So I grew up, of course, watching like 80s and 90s movies set in LA. And before I came here, I had the idea that the Valley was like bad, kind of how people in New York treat Long Island. But actually living here, I don't think that people really feel that way, if they ever did.
No.
But certainly not now.
God, no. The Valley, like, feel like in the 80s, when you're talking about like Valley Girl or
Right.
like Bill and Ted and stuff like that, or I don't know, any of those, like Earth Girls Are Easy, those kind of depictions of like the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
They're talking about like much further west and much further north of like Boogie Nights country, like where Paul Thomas Anderson grew up, all that kind of stuff. It's nothing like Glendale and Burbank or nothing like that. It was much more suburban. Once upon a time, if you look at like Mildred Pierce in the 40s, Joan Crawford's living in Glendale with her husband and making cherry pies. But like, it's totally different now. Burbank is nothing but like animation dweebs who all work at Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, or middle-aged older horror dudes who live around Magnolia Park.
Yeah, the Goth District.
The Goth District. And then Glendale is all Armenians.
Yeah.
So
when I lived in New York still, sometimes people would be snobby against Brooklyn, like they only live in Manhattan and never leave Manhattan. I was like, what year is it?
rich people.
No, it's not even that, because Brooklyn is just as expensive as Manhattan is these days. But Brooklyn has been New York City since the late 90s. You know, like, that's the most significant, relevant part of New York City. And so to be a Manhattan snob is to be stuck in the 70s, 80s. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing.
Brooklyn is also, like, nice and incredible and, like...
gorgeous. There's no part of Manhattan that's as beautiful as, you know, Fort Greene, Park Slope, you know, Carroll Gardens. Those are such gorgeous neighborhoods.
There's just so many people who, like, heck, they gotta live in a city and be doing it all the time, and they drink their coffee black, and God damn it if you get in my way. Those kind of people who are just like, I have to have that kind of life, and God forbid you move to what they consider to be, like, suburban 1950s life, which is... just normal city living,
which is good.
I think of. Yeah. I mean, when I lived in Chicago, too, not everyone lives in the fucking Loop. Like, you live in, like, Bridgeport and Boys Town, and, like, you live further off the fucking LSD, like...
I can't wait to get out of here, even. Like, I want to be in a cottage in the woods, growing a garden, writing YA novels under a pen name. Like, how soon can I get out of every city?
Yeah, that is absolutely your trajectory. It starts with, like, hipster city living in Manhattan and New York. You move out to a more, like, chic district of LA, and then you move out to a more suburban part of LA, like South Pasadena. And then you end up in a cabin in Seattle. Like, not even Seattle, like, way out in Washington State.
Vashon Island. Whidbey Island. Or Idlewild here in California. Look, Drusilla, at least in this trajectory, you have a spare bedroom in some adorable little vacation mountain town. So
this is, I hate to break it to you, Josh, this is also my goal.
Have you watched anything cool or done anything cool?
Oh my god, I am going to the movies again. Movies are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Movies are back. Thank you, Biden. Like, we are back in movie theaters. Thank you, Yunky Joe. We are back. COVID's over. COVID doesn't exist anymore. God forbid.
It's like it never happened.
It's like it never happened, honey. We are back in the theaters. Our masks are on. Because COVID is still a thing.
We're saying the Pledge of Allegiance to Nicole Kidman.
I mean, yes, honestly, at this point, I'm a little sick of the Nicole Kidman video, and they promised they were making the second one, and I just want the second one already. We're ready for the sequel. We were asking, we were desiring, we need it. I saw 2 new releases this week, is what I'm getting at.
Okay, I hope one of them is what I saw, but go on.
One of them, and I have the commemorative popcorn bucket here to get into it, is John Wick 4!
Yeah.
John Wick Volume 4. And guess what? This bucket still has popcorn in it. This is the ASMR section.
This is the ASMR portion of the show. It sounds vile. Please stop. I have whatever is the opposite of ASMR. Misophonia. I can't stand it.
Anyway, John Wick was great.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very good.
I've never seen any of those movies, but people have told me that I would really like them.
One of my favorite jokes about John Wick is from the show AP Bio, in which someone on a date is offered to go see John Wick 2, and he's like, I didn't see the first one. And they're like, do you know how guns work? You'll be fine. That's these movies. They are incredible. Keanu is having so much fun. The audience is having so much fun. They are intentionally comedic. They are intentionally a little campy. They are just insane. I had like no interest when the first John Wick came out because I assumed it would be like that Tom Cruise movie Jack Reacher, or like kind of that like 1980s Charles Bronson, like one man vengeance, I gotta kill these men who raped my wife kind of thing.
And it is kind of like that, isn't it? But like sort of satirized in some minor way, or
yes, it's closer to like martial arts kung fu movies like The Raid, or like kind of what Jackie Chan was doing in the 80s, but like dialed up insanely.
Yeah, it's
directed by Keanu Reeves' former stuntman from the Matrix films, and they're just very, very fun. I mean, yes, his wife is dead. It's not about that. A little bit, but it's the first movie. Someone kills his dog, and so he goes on a rampage, killing all the mobsters in New York City because someone killed his dog.
Wow.
And then the second movie is like, hey, you killed too many important mobsters. Now they're all going to come and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more the movies go on, the more they're like, there's this whole lore of like hitman society and like all this insanity.
That sounds cool.
And it's very, very, very fun. And every now and then you get like glimpses of like what this world is. Like there are switchboard operators across the world that are like punk girls with beehive hairdos and tattoos all over them.
Wow.
They're constantly running old school switchboards, being like, there's a new hit on John Wick, $20 million. Anyone in the tri-state area, come get him. Come get John Wick. It's awesome. The new one, I mean, there's car foo, there's staircase foo, there's an incredible sequence with like exploding bullets that are basically like fire bullets. That's all filmed from overhead in this empty, like bombed out apartment, as the camera just like casually slides overhead from room to room to room to room, as you just watch like tiny dot John Wick like blow people up, like with pianos and shit like that.
That sounds cool.
Insanely fun. 3 hours long.
That's okay. It's fun.
Go see it in IMAX. If you want a dumb fun popcorn movie, go see this. It's so fun. And if you want the opposite of a dumb fun popcorn movie, if you want a 90-minute art house experimental weird fest, there's another movie in theaters right now that I saw that you can go see, and it is being released by Neon. It is directed by David Jankin. Am I correct? Or Mark Jakin? It was released by Neon. It's directed by Mark Jenkin, and it's called Enys Men.
Oh, yes, I really want to see this.
Goddamn, you gotta go see Enys Men!
Yeah.
If you listen to Bloodhouse for any stretch of time, you need to see Enys Men. This movie is everything that we talk about all the time. It is basically The Wicker Man as directed by Guy Madden based on a screenplay by Ingmar Bergman.
Wow.
It is so artsy, so fun. It was shot on 16 millimeter hand cranked on a Bolex. All the audio is sync sound, recorded separately.
Yeah.
It is just gorgeous to look at. It feels a lot like the Robert Altman movie Images from the 1970s.
Ooh, I love Images.
Mm-hmm. It's very oblique. It is very fascinating. It's got very Lynchian undertones. It is a woman alone on an island called Enys Men. Enysmen. So, come on, Americans, pronounce it right. It's Enys Men. Not Enys Men. It is.
Okay.
And this woman is alone on an island. She is a wildlife volunteer, and she spends her days going out and cataloging the development of these very specific wildflowers growing on the edge of this cliffside. And every day she writes down the weather and the temperature and the climate, and that there has been no change to these flowers. And as time goes on, things start getting a little weird, and time starts to fold in on itself. There are very folk horror-esque elements that begin to crash into this woman's isolated existence. It's fucking incredible. If you like any of the things that I just mentioned, you've got to go run out and see this.
I like Mark all Jenkins, of those things.
His previous movie, his previous feature is called Bait.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in 2019. It won a BAFTA. It was a big deal. Also, hand cranked 16 millimeter, black and white. This one's in color.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't released in America. Neon is now releasing Enys Men in theaters. They also acquired the rights to Bait. Bait is back in theaters right now, too. You can go see a Mark Jenkin double feature right now.
That's so great.
Yeah, Bait is at, like, fucking AMC in Burbank. It's nuts.
Well, this is our new release section of the show, because yesterday I went and saw a blockbuster film called Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And let me tell you, Drusilla, it fucking rules. It is so much fun.
Really?
Yes, it rules.
Really?
Go on Twitter, look it up. The reviews are out of this world. Like, the critics love it. It exceeded all expectations in terms of box office. The buzz is so good. And
this is insane to me. I've been seeing the marketing for this for the past few months. It's all I'm inundated with, and it looks terrible.
It's fantastic. It's so much fun. It's so much funnier and more clever than it has any right to be, than it needs to be. Chris Pine is so charming. It really feels like you're sitting down to a Dungeons and Dragons campaign with people that you love, with the funniest people that you know. It's so good, and it's going to be a franchise. It's going to be like a whole thing, and I can't wait. I loved it so much. It also comes with a commemorative popcorn thing that I didn't notice until after the movie, unfortunately, which is like a giant D20 popcorn bucket.
That's so funny.
But I've been playing D&D since I was 10 years old. It's like the nerdiest thing about me. And it felt so good. It felt so right. Our mutual friend Zach Ogle, who's a big D&D person, really loved it too. It's just, what a moment. Like, what a cathartic moment for people who play D&D. Like, when I started in 1990, it was like the nerdiest, most shameful thing that you could do when I was like 9 years old. And it's become this huge thing because of Stranger Things and other, things like that. And it's just like such a cool moment for that game and that culture.
Yeah, I heard that, I'm aware of the podcast and live stream Critical Role.
Yeah.
I heard that they were big fans of it. My friend and film critic and author Karen Hahn got to see an advanced screening of it and said that it was incredible. And I was like, It seems like you guys are lying. I've seen these trailers. This looks bad.
It's so fun. I really loved it.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Me, as a person, you know me, I do not like Lord of the Rings. I do not like Game of Thrones. But I like playing Dungeons and Dragons. I like playing role-playing games like that. And the filmmakers behind this, John Francis Daley, made, and his co-director, who I can't remember, John Francis Daley, I know from being on Bones and Freaks and Geeks, directed Game Night, and they wrote the Horrible Bosses films.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy as, like, dumb fun comedies. Do you think I will like this movie?
I could go either way because I know that you don't particularly like fantasy films, and it's certainly that. I mean, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Like, you can't get any more pure fantasy than that. But it's really funny. I mean, it really is winky at you in a way that's not obnoxious and genuinely really funny. And it feels like playing D&D. So I would say it's worth seeing, but I can't promise you that you'll like it. It's worth seeing in the theater, too, because it looks beautiful.
Got it. Yeah. Well, good thing I have the AMC A-list plus stubs whatever fucking thing. So
yeah, same.
See it for free, basically.
Yeah. I saw it in IMAX. It was really great. I loved it. And then the other thing I want to shout out, it's a book thing. I've been having so much fun. So listeners may know the author Grady Hendrix, who's a very popular horror author.
Love him.
And yes, me too. And he made a book that I give to people for their birthdays and such all the time called Paperbacks from Hell, which is a coffee table book of all just like horror novel paperback covers from the 70s and 80s. And it's great. But what I didn't know until recently, and I did, was that they offer a box, like a grab bag on paperbacksfromhell.com where you pay like $100 and you get, I don't know, 15 or 20 re-releases of rare paperbacks from the 70s and 80s. And I did that. And I've just been tearing through these things like mad between my fancier, like I just read Kindred by Octavia Butler, which is excellent, but like a difficult read and it's like very highbrow. So between things like Kindred, I'm reading like a paperback from hell and then going on to like something more difficult. So it's been like my palate cleanser and it's so fun and so delightful. And I know $100 is a lot of money.
But you can also, I've been aware of the Paperbacks from Hell like campaign of re-releasing all of these books for a while now because I'm a big fan. A lot of those kinds of books, and a lot of them have been out of print
they're
for a
rare.
long time, and they've been outrageously rare. And I went looking for one recently, and then I saw that Grady and Paperbacks from Hell had re-released it exactly the same, just stuck the little Paperbacks from Hell thing on it.
Yep.
And it was like $15 or something like that.
Per book?
Like, yeah, they're like crazy cheap per book. And so I've picked up a few, and I didn't know there was a subscription service version of it, and I'm kind of tempted. I don't have the fucking shelf space.
Yeah. It's not a subscription service, though. You just get one box, and it's like $100 or something, but you get like 15 or 20 books, and it's just, incredible. You don't know what they're gonna be, I think. I can't quite remember, but it's been such a joy. Such a fun thing. If you can afford it, it's really worth doing, if you like to read horror.
I love that. That actually reminds me of, this incredible service that still exists, but I used it a lot during COVID because I wanted to support independent video stores. I'm sure you know, Josh, Scarecrow Video.
Oh yes, Seattle classic.
Up in Seattle,
yeah.
Yes. So Scarecrow Video to kind of raise funds for the store during COVID because obviously people weren't coming in and renting things, and especially like a non-for-profit like rental stores not getting a lot of money to stay afloat at the time. Started doing a mystery box service.
Ooh.
And it would be from like $50 to $100, maybe a little bit less. What you do is you fill out a questionnaire. You can choose either the 51 or the 101. It depends on how many comes in your box. Whether it's like, I think 5 to 10 titles. And you fill out a questionnaire that's like, what kind of movies do you like? What kind of movies do you not like? What, like, kind of things are you interested in? What's your favorite director? What's your favorite musical? Like, really niche things like that. And then, like, do you only watch DVD? Do you watch Blu-ray? Do you have, can you watch VHS? Can you watch foreign discs and stuff like that? And you submit this long questionnaire about, like, your tastes and your formats and stuff like that. You pay the either $50 for a smaller box or $100 for a larger box. And then they hand curate for you a box of movies they think you're gonna like.
That's amazing.
Based on that list, and they mail it to you, and I got incredible movies out of that during COVID. I did it like 2 or 3 times, and I also did it for my partner at the time, as like a little gift for them.
Mm-hmm.
I got like, unsurprisingly to a lot of people, I got a lot of like foreign punk films, and I got like Criterion releases of like Pepe Le Moco and like art house films I'd never seen. I got like Japanese, like new wave films I'd never seen. It was incredible. And it's not like, there's a lot of great streaming services right now that curate for more art house or genre sensibilities. Sure. There's Shudder and there's Arrow for that. And then there's Mubi and the Criterion channel for that stuff. But there's just so much stuff, and it's mass curated for the audience. But you don't have that kind of video store experience anymore of like building a relationship with the guy behind the counter, talking about the movies that you like, and then them being like, oh, well, here's this weird thing, you might like this, and giving you like a small subset of things rather than like, here's 50 to 100 movies that we just have up right now.
Yeah.
It's so much more personalized, it's great, and you're like supporting a non-for-profit video store. It's incredible. I am obsessed with it, and I really want to do it again.
Scarecrow Video is so incredible. If you're visiting Seattle, it's a do not miss. If you're somebody who listens to this podcast and you're visiting Seattle, like, you cannot miss Scarecrow Video. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. New release section is over. We are moving to 1984 to Mexico. This is from a box set that Drusilla and I both purchased, now out from Vinegar Syndrome, who we love dearly. This is the box set Mexican Gothic, the films of Carlos Enrique Taboada. And the movie that we're talking about specifically is, excuse my Spanish, I took French, Veneno para las Hadas, in English, Poison for the Fairies. This is a first-time watch for both of us, and I think we both liked it very much. Is that true?
Oh, I adored this movie, Josh.
Yeah.
I have to say, first and foremost, that my friend Steph C., who's a Mexican illustrator, and who's been a friend of mine for a little while, and who I helped mentor through the We Create mentorship program that was built by the great illustrator Tracy Ching. She and I became friends a few years ago when I helped with the program, and she and I have been discussing Mexican cinema together for a while. She's been giving me incredible recommendations, and the very first movie she ever recommended me was Poison for the Fairies. She was like, this movie's incredible. My mother showed it to me when I was very young. Mm-hmm. She's obsessed with it. It's like, it has entirely shaped my worldview and how I want to make art and things like that. And I was never able to get it. I was like, it's very, very, very hard to access. And like, a lot of other stuff that she and I had watched and talked about, like, have gotten releases. A lot of like Mexican Buñuel films have finally started popping up, and like Mexican, like 50s Mexican Gothic films like Phantom of the Monastery, La Llorona, are finally becoming available again. And then out of the fucking blue, Vinegar Syndrome puts out a box set of this director's horror films and kind of buries the lead that Poison for the Fairies, one of the most sought after Mexican cult films of all time, is finally available in America. It's mentioned nowhere in the packaging. No images from Poison for the Fairies are on the cover.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I don't exactly have a sense of how big this movie is in Mexico, except that it did win 2 Ariel Awards in 1984, which is the Mexican equivalent of an Oscar. It won Best Director and Best Picture for Poison for the Fairies. So it seems like it's a well-liked movie in Mexico, at least. Carlos Enrique Taboada was kind of, born into Mexican film monarchy, sort of like a Barrymore or a Sheen, because both of his parents were famous actors. It's great. This movie was fantastic. I guess synopsis-wise, it's a bit like a movie we just watched 2 episodes ago, Don't Deliver Us from Evil. It's got some Heavenly Creatures vibes to it, but essentially it's set in the 1960s, but made in the 80s. It's about 2 private school two, religious Catholic school girls. One is named Flava. One is named Veronica. Flava is new to town. Her family is very wealthy. She meets Veronica, who's a little girl who claims that she is a witch. And they kind of get embroiled in this fantasy of Veronica being a witch and telling Flava what to do. And eventually it reaches a peak when they go on holiday together to Flava's rich family country house. And that's kind of it, without giving away the ending, which is pretty cool. It's great. It reminded me of so many friendships I had as a kid where I did not want to be friends with that person, but they forced me to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's that show called? Pen 15, and it's, I think, second season had a great character who was like that, who was like a bossy little girl whose mom would like thank the girls for being friends with her because she was so domineering and like demented. I think when you're like an introverted kid, it's easy to fall into these dynamics where some bossy, weird little kid like forces themselves upon you. It's about that.
Yeah. But like the dynamic between Flavia and Veronica is really, really great because like on one hand, Veronica is being very much like, nope, I'm doing this. You're going to give me that. Like being very, 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 very pushy. But she's
very
also,
bad
like,
seed.
Very, very bad seed. And she's like prim and blonde and always in like pinks and stuff like that. A lot of pigtails. She's incredible. But the more you learn about her, she's like from an upsettingly tragic broken home.
Yes.
It like is close with her nanny, and it's like she's just trying to connect with this rich. She's trying to connect with the other like weird kid in the school who's like the shy new girl. And when she finds out that she's rich, she's like maybe a little mad about it.
Yeah, sure.
And like fucks with her a lot.
Yeah.
Trying to she wants to play witch all the time because she's being told all these witch stories by her nanny. And she leans into it every now and then, but then she also like fucks with Flavia a lot, being like, well, if you don't do this, the witch is going to come and scratch your eyes out.
Yeah. So Veronica's parents are dead. She lives in a little cottage with her grandmother, who's basically very old and kind of catatonic. So she's really being raised by her nanny, who's like a housekeeper nanny sort of figure. And sort of like Roald Dahl's The Witches, frankly, is what it reminded me of. Nanny is constantly telling her these stories about witches, which she seems to be making up on the fly, really. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so Veronica is quite taken by these and is obsessed with witches and like really wants to be a witch. And so that's kind of the root of all of this. Meanwhile, Flava's family is very wealthy. She goes to a religious school, but it's suggested that her parents are atheists and she doesn't really believe in any, it seems like she comes from like a really rich, sophisticated a religious family, which is the opposite of Veronica's experience.
One of my favorite examples of that early on is there's a scene in which Flavia is going to bed and she asks her mother, why do other little girls pray? And her mom says, because they're scared. You're not scared, so you don't.
Yeah. And it's almost like that makes her parents' atheism in some way makes Flava susceptible to this because it's like you rebel against your parents in any way possible. So it's like Alex P. Keaton from Family Ties is like a Republican teenager, right? Because his parents are like these boomer hippies. It's like whatever your parents do, you're going to do the opposite. I think because she's not raised with religion, she's really susceptible to like mystery and the occult and witchcraft and folk tales. And so it sort of backfires with Flava.
Yeah, she's obsessed with it. She really wants to fall into it, and she buys it lock, stock, and barrel.
Yeah.
As we quickly see. But the movie opens on one of the most exciting and gorgeous sequences a movie could possibly open on.
I knew you would love this. It's like, Drusilla is loving this.
It was bait. As soon as that started, I was like, it is black and white. The movie's in color, but it opens in black and white of a little girl walking up the stairs. It's very arch, very gothic, a lot of candles, a lot of like soft focus. And and she stabs an older woman in the neck, very much akin to the ending of Suspiria, and the blood runs red across the black and white image, and then it flows down to an image of the blood just dripping into a pool as the credits lay over that. Yeah. And then that transitions into a red book cover being closed on a story of fairy tales and witchcraft. And it's just like, yep, that is where we're starting from. That is the world of this movie.
Yeah, but Mexican Gothic is a really great title for this box set. So it is Gothic. You're getting these gorgeous estates, and you're getting little girls in school uniforms, and you're getting cauldrons, and it is like truly Gothic in the traditional sense of the world aesthetically.
And the filmmaking in this is incredible and very specific and very stylized, but not in like a way that like a 2023 audience, when you say stylized, you just imagine like Nicholas Winding Refn and like bright lights and shit like that. That's not the only definition of stylized filmmaking. By stylized, I mean this movie is shot like a Peanuts cartoon.
Yes, I loved this choice. I loved it.
You never see the adults' faces. The camera is almost always at child head height. It's very rarely higher than that. And whenever it occasionally like cranes up from that, it feels very jarring. Yeah. The few instances where we see an adult's face are always shock moments, or always like a dead body or someone catching them or them getting in trouble.
If you have seen Los Espookys, what they do with Julio Torres's parents, where you never see their face, that's what they're doing in this movie. It's really great. But there's still some like Flava's piano teacher, Madame, I can't remember her name, but she gets a diva entrance and we never see her face. You just get her like perfectly manicured hand coming down a grand staircase with lots of bracelets on. And so it still manages to be like a diva entrance without ever seeing this woman's face.
And the adults' performances are still incredible.
Yeah, great.
You see the father, like, sitting in a, like, dark library by a fire in a wingback chair with, like, slippers on and a pipe and a book and, like, a little snifter of brandy as she comes in to say goodnight to him. And it's like, yeah, we know everything about this man.
Totally. And Veronica's grandmother is the same. You see her withered old lady hand in front of a fireplace as she sits in her weird grandma chair. So you're getting a lot of information without seeing these people's faces. It's a great choice.
The way they filmed the grandmother reminds me a lot of the way they filmed the grandfather in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, totally. Or the mother's corpse in Psycho.
Yeah. It's for a while, it's not suggested as to whether the grandmother's alive or not. Yeah. They do eventually make it clear that, yes, she is.
I thought for a while, I was like, is this like Little Girl Down the Lane where Jodie Foster is living with the corpses of her parents by herself? I did wonder that at some point. It kind of reminded me of Mario Bava at some points, the aesthetic of this. Like, I could see...
Kill Baby Kill.
Kill Baby Kill, yeah, totally. That sort of early color period of Mario Bava.
The filmmaking quality really dips into a lot of like dream sequences and like child POV of the world, and a really like snarky, bratty, childish attitude towards religion, and towards faith. And the entire time, the thing that it kept reminding me of was Buñuel films.
I see.
Especially the Mexican films of Buñuel. If you think about Sam of the Desert, or The Criminal Life of Archibald de la Cruz, but also like Description on the Bourgeoisie, Exterminating Angel, and stuff like that. Like specifically, there is a death that happens in Poison for the Fairies that is left up as to whether it is something that happened due to magic or something that happened due to an undisclosed medical condition. Not unlike the death at the beginning of the Criminal Life of Archibald de la Cruz, an incredibly long title, in which a young boy who hates his nanny is gifted a little music box that he's told by his parents to placate him, grants wishes. And while a like riot and protest and armed gunmen are out in the streets outside, he wishes on this little music box that his nanny goes away forever and ever and that she dies. And at the same time, she gets hit by a stray bullet and drops to the ground right in front of him.
Oh my God.
And for the rest of the movie, he grows up into an adult and believes that he has magical abilities to kill people.
Wow.
And there's a moment in Poison for the Fairies where our little girls are walking through a cemetery and they see a big crucifix, and Flavia gives the whole history as to why the cross is there. Veronica comes, because it's to ward off the devil. Veronica comes, stops in her little, like, pink dress and her blonde pigtails, and, like, sneers at it and sticks her tongue out at the cross, and then walks on, which is, like, directly all the vibe of Simon of the Desert, where you have Sylvia Pinal playing the devil in the form of a young girl trying to seduce a saint off of a, like, pious pillar.
Interesting.
Making all the exact same gestures and it's the exact same sense of humor. And it's so fun to see that. I mean, I'm sure Taboada was very familiar with Buñuel's Mexican output, especially in the 50s and 60s. But it's the exact same kind of Catholic upbringing that this movie is, like, bucking against and playing with, and that exact same sensibility that I fucking adore. It's just so infectious and fun.
You love an anti-Catholic movie.
I fucking hate Catholics, so yes, I do.
I'm really curious to watch the other films in here, because I saw a lot of people on Letterboxd say that this was their least favorite of the bunch. So I'm curious to watch the others. Yeah.
The others have to be fucking great then.
Yeah. Eventually what happens is that Veronica forces herself on Flava's family holiday to their country estate, which is like the back half of the movie, and she wants to create this big cauldron of potion that will poison the fairies, as the title suggests, because witches and fairies are natural enemies, and she's a witch.
Of course.
So she's making this up on the fly, the ingredients that they need, so they're looking for these ingredients as Flava sort of gradually becomes to really, really resent and hate Veronica, because who wouldn't? The girl's, like, so bossy and annoying.
I love her. I'm sorry. I love Veronica.
I love her as a character. As a 12-year-old girl, I'd be like, get this fucking bitch off of my family's estate. You know what I mean? Like, she's very bossy and domineering.
To this one girl, not to anyone else, though.
I don't know. I'm just very Flava-coded as a person.
I'm Team Veronica. This has nothing to do with Josh and I's hair color.
No, not at all.
Other than everything to do with
it. This does have a very dark ending that we won't spoil. But other than that, I would say this is, like, kind of a PG-13 movie. It's never too violent, never too scary. It kind of is, you could argue, like, more of a coming-of-age story than it is, like, a quote-unquote horror film.
Very much so. It's very much told from a child's perspective. It has the feel and air of a fairy tale. It feels like a world perceived by these, like, 12, 11-year-old girls. It is in stark contrast to the one we watched a few weeks ago, Don't Deliver Us from Evil.
Yes.
Significantly less, like, sexually tinged. There is, like, truly no sexuality, which is great. Not necessary. Truly not necessary. And this, but it is so much more, like, personality and identity based, and so much more about femininity and about faith and about the culture of the time. It's very interesting to me, though, that this movie was made in 1986. It's set in 1965. Which feels to me a lot like if someone made a movie now set in 2002.
Yeah.
Which is, like, technically period, but why?
Well, I mean, it's so different then, because in the 80s there was such a huge nostalgia for the 50s and early 60s, and I just don't think that we're nostalgic in that way anymore, you know? I don't know why, but, like, there were a lot of movies set in the 60s and the 80s because boomers were nostalgic for the 60s and they were making movies, so I don't know why millennials haven't done that with the 2000s. It feels like it was yesterday, but it was 20 years ago, so it's just a weird thing.
It's very odd. And also, like, there wasn't much good going on at that time.
I disagree. I mean, there's a documentary coming out called Meet Me in the Bathroom.
Oh, it's out.
Yeah, I need to see it, but I'm scared to see it because that was like my era, like living in New York, doing drugs, listening to the Strokes, going out to, nightlife. And so I'm afraid to watch a documentary about that. I don't feel nostalgic for it, despite it being my favorite music time and fashion time and like one of the happiest times of my life. So I do have nostalgia for that era. I don't know.
I do think that as much as I don't want to spoil the ending for this movie, I do want to discuss it a little bit because there's a big question posed by this movie from the very beginning about these two girls because they are very much yin and yang and they are very much up to no good the whole movie as to kind of the nature of evil because that's what they're playing with. Again, not dissimilar from Don't Deliver Us from Evil. They are decidedly on the side of Satan, on the side of evil, and they want to fuck around and find out. And this movie's ending gives its answer to what the face of evil looks like, and it is not what you expect it to be, and it is a very subversive and fucked up and mean ending, and it is like it shows the cruelty of the characters, it shows the extent of certain belief systems.
Yeah.
And it's like harrowingly upsetting.
Yeah, it's a really dark ending, very mean-spirited, as you said. Other than that, I mean, I kind of wish that the movie were a little bit meaner throughout. I like what you get. It is a bit of like a kid's bop, Don't Deliver Us from Evil. But I don't mean that necessarily derogatory. But I do wish it were a little bit more rated R, maybe.
That's fair. That's fine. I mean, I will say while I was watching it, the majority of the time I was like thinking about the synopsis from the release in my head, and I was like, I feel like it mentioned murder on there. Where's the murder? Where are we getting murder? And then the ending happens, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. There it is. Fuck yeah.
I'm still stuck on this idea of nostalgia because I was wondering if we're not nostalgic in that same way anymore because we haven't had a monoculture since maybe the 90s. Like,
this is true.
Our culture is so segmented and so niche that like everyone's listening to different music than each other. Everyone's watching different movies. There was this great skit on SNL like a month ago about like, it was called Hollywood Quiz, and it was like a game show about Hollywood, but the joke was like no one had ever heard of these popular TV shows and movies. It's like we're so segmented that you can't really do nostalgia anymore because no one experienced the same things as each other. Do you think there's anything to that?
That's very true, but I don't know if that would be the case that early on, or if that would be more like 2010s. But nonetheless, you're absolutely right, and it kind of says it's very interesting that you're typically nostalgia works in a 20-year cycle, but we've been in 80s nostalgia since like
we've got some 90s stuff too. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's starting to leak in a little bit, and like 90s and early 2000s fashion are coming back in a big way that I
Y2K
fucking despise.
Fashion. Yeah, Y2K fashion is disgusting.
It's awful. All the bucket hats and the big shoes and the sunglasses.
Ugh.
Despise it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I hated it then.
Just because a hipster fashion brand on Melrose or on your Instagram account says that this is what they're doing doesn't mean it's hip and fun and chic.
Sick.
Think for yourselves. It's awful.
Disgusting. Putrid. Vile.
Okay, so you mentioned Los Espookys and you mentioned Julio Torres. I think it's time that we dig into that question and play the most important game and the only reason people listen to this fucking podcast.
Yes.
Have they seen it?
Yeah.
Again, Poison for the Fairies, a 1986 release from Mexico that was a big hit in Mexico and was very much a critical darling at the time. Did not get much of a release in America because we're awful.
But Julio's not American, right?
Exactly. He is from El Salvador.
Right. I think he's seen it. I would be shocked if he hasn't seen this. He must be referencing it directly in Los Espookys with that choice, don't you think?
I I have to think so. If not, I mean, I know other people work on that show as well who might be making such choices. But
yeah, true.
Julio makes such strong
He's an
choices
auteur.
and things. Yeah, very much so. And he has, his first directorial debut coming out in just a few months. So that might give us some more clues. And hopefully he'll do interviews talking about such things. But yeah, I think he's absolutely seen Poison for the Fairies. I know, actually, the thing that pointed me to the fact that Poison for the Fairies is in this new release from Vinegar Syndrome was that Guillermo del Toro tweeted about this release saying to pick it up because Poison for the Fairies was in it. So I know for a fact that Guillermo has seen it, and it is a surprise to me in no way that a man who loves to make movies about childhood being warped by witchcraft and ghosts and faith would maybe like a movie like this. It surprises me in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Julio has absolutely seen it.
Speaking of the early 2000s and Meet Me in the Bathroom, do you think that Yeah's front woman Karen O has seen Poison for the Fairies?
Oh my god, I love
this. Is a girl who's like a hipster since forever. She went to Oberlin. I feel like she's a global citizen.
I mean, she is very much sorry. Karen O is very much the East Coast equivalent of Miranda July. She is like a very specific kind of mid-2000s hipster girl who is well-connected. I don't think she's seen Poison for the Fairies. However, I don't know what kind of bootlegs they had in video stores in New York in the mid-2000s.
We had really good... We had Kim's Video, which was like iconic on St. Mark's Place, and RIP to Kim's, but...
Then I'm going to say yes, Karen O has, because I am envisioning a world, because if you look at the poster for this movie, which is fucking gorgeous. It is purple that is in like 80s block radiating, fading down to a lighter purple. And then in the center you have Veronica's head reflected as a mirror version of itself, not different from a pulled out version of like Jeremy Irons on the Dead Ringers poster.
Yeah.
With a drop of blood coming down from her eye, coming straight down the middle of the poster, and that is then coiled into two green snakes wrapping into each other. And then the title treatment is just crazy gorgeous 80s typography.
Yeah.
I feel like if that was like cheaply printed out and then slapped onto a generic DVD case with a white blank label DVD written Poison for the Fairies on it, I feel like between that image and that title, Karen O would have absolutely snapped this up at the time and gone and watched it in whatever like Soho loft she was living in at the time.
I got to see I think around 2009 maybe, 2010, I saw her opera in Brooklyn, which is based on the work of the painter Harvey Darger. And it was 50 women in identical costumes backing her and Lily Taylor, of all people. And it was pretty cool. Anyway... Oh, speaking of Dead Ringers, have you seen the trailer for the series?
I have not. I saw the teaser for it.
It looks kind of cool. Rachel Weisz is playing the twins, and I know one of the writers on it, who I like very much. One of the writers from Succession. I'm excited for it. So, how have they seen it? This person... Oh, it's not my turn. I'll go anyway. I just started talking.
Yes.
This person just popped into my head out of nowhere, has nothing to do with anything. Do you think Julia Louis-Dreyfus has seen Poison for the Fairies? Now, I will say, maybe it came from this. Like, she's very wealthy. Her parents were, like, ambassadors or something. She spent her childhood traveling the world. Her family are billionaires.
Yes, she is from money. And then on top of that, Seinfeld money.
Yeah, exactly. Wealth. Opulence.
I think that Julia Louis-Dreyfus has not seen Poison for the Fairies.
I agree.
As much as I adore her.
Love her. Iconic Capricorn.
Love her. Love all of her performances. I did not see that Jonah Hill movie she did this year, but
No, me neither.
You couldn't pay me to.
But Veep is like my comfort show because it's so mean.
Because it's so mean.
Dark.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly that. If Josh likes anything, it's something that's mean. Here's an interesting one. And this feels like it should be coming from you since this is from the world of literature. And as we know, I am a brainless heathen who only watches movies.
That's not true. But go on.
There is a great Hispanic author from Colombia who lived in Mexico for much of his life. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Author of the fucking incredible Love in the Time of Cholera.
Yes, love that book.
Who only passed away just a few years ago. An acclaimed, brilliant author, and at the time, acclaimed, celebrated film. Do you think he has seen Poison for the Fairies?
I think so. I mean, it did win those awards. It seems like it's pretty well known in the Latino world, Central and South America. He was alive. I think he would like it, furthermore. I mean, based on his work that I've read, and based on this movie, I think he would really enjoy this movie. Don't you?
Absolutely.
Drusilla's eating popcorn from her commemorative bucket.
I should have brought it up as a prop. Now I want more popcorn.
I know.
I am so sorry, Tabuada. I did not mean to do this to your memory and to your film. I just want popcorn all the time. I'm so sorry.
Well, listen, we really enjoyed this movie. We cannot recommend picking up this box set enough. This turned into a commercial for Vinegar Syndrome, which is fine. The box set, once again, is called Mexican Gothic, the films of Carlos Enrique Taboada. Drusilla, I don't know what to say to you. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you like it, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at bloodhousepod. Drusilla, where are you?
I'm at my website most of the time. I'm set up shop over there. I'm like David Lynch sitting on Hollywood Boulevard with a cow. Sisterhidedesign.com. I've got a new logo. I've got new art out. There's some new Criterion releases with my art. Go take a look at those. I'm outrageously excited about that. Not to mention posters for Owen Wilson in the new comedy Paint, the Amazon Prime series Swarm, and much, much more. I am on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline or you look for Sister Hyde, you will fucking find me. I am also on Twitter and Instagram, technically at Hyde Sister, but I'm barely on either these days. So mostly just Letterboxd. Come on, kids, follow my Letterboxd. Josh, what about you? How can people get more connected with their favorite writer and podcaster that lives in Silver Lake and is named Josh?
Follow me at LinkedIn. No, I'm just joking. Don't go to LinkedIn. Twitter and Instagram at Joshua Conkle. Also Letterboxd at Joshua Conkle. And next week, we're finally getting around to a vampire movie we haven't covered. One that you've never seen, which feels insane to me.
We're doing a service this year. We are ripping off the Band-Aid of big vampire movies that somehow Drusilla the Vampire Freak has not seen.
Yeah. What is this movie?
We are doing Jim Jarmusch's Tilda Swinton starring mid-2010s vampire rock and roll classic, Only Lovers Left Alive.
Truly can't wait. Thank you.